Hey guys, I'm Ferry Corsten and I would like to introduce you to a very cool DJ tool that's out on the market right now, qlay DJ. This is actually qlay DJ 1.1, made for the iPhone initially. A new update will soon be available, and to show you that, it's actually a lot easier on this one.
Introducing qlay DJ version 1.5 for the iPhone, iPod and iPad. The new features include beat grids, phase meter and auto sync, quantized loops, hot cues and many more. Even though qlay DJ calculates 95% of BPMs correctly, the final 5% need correcting. We also need to tell tracks where the first beat is. Okay, I need to put the start point on the first beat. I do that by dragging it. This drags the whole grid with it too. I've put my start point near the beginning, but I can nudge into final position with these buttons. Notice how the beat grid lines up with the beats on the waveform. Next, I scroll along to check that the beat grid stays this way. Oh, look at that. The white lines don't quite line up. I'll use these pinch and stretch buttons to correct. They will pinch and stretch the beat grid to and from the start point. That looks better. Oh, and the BPM is exactly 138. Perfect. Next, the phase meter. The phase meter is up here. It shows how well your beats are matched. To show this, I've put the same track into A and B. I'll start A and then start B a little too late. Oh, that sounds terrible. The phase meter is telling me that track A is too far ahead by just over half a beat. If I press the sync button up here, the tracks are automatically synced. Yeah, that's much better. It's not just the phase that's synced, but the BPM too. Let's move the pitch so it's way off. Start the tracks playing. The phase meter is completely wrong. For a moment it's correct. So I press the sync button again, and as you can see, the pitch sliders get corrected too. Now Max from Capsulated Software will explain the looping features.
Thanks, Ferry. First, I'll explain quantized loops. In the center of the screen are some loop buttons. This is loop panel A, this is loop panel B. Back to loop A. Let's start looping. I've got the number 2 pushed in, meaning it's looping for 2 beats. If I push 1, it changes to 1 beat. And now half. To choose different loop lengths, I use the arrow keys. I select a 4-beat loop, back to 2, and stop the track. That's basic looping. Another thing I should show you, if you go to the new options screen and turn on auto loop scrolling, now if I touch the left or the rightmost loop button, the window will scroll in that direction. See how the window jumps along? Hot looping is a little difficult to describe. It's best to show you, so I'll move back to this other screen. On this screen, you can bring the loop panels on separately. Okay, let's get both these tracks going. I'll switch on a 4-beat loop. Loop once, twice, and switch off. Now this track is 8 beats behind the other track. You can see how the waveforms no longer line up. And that's fine for a long loop like 4 beats, the tracks will always stay beat matched. Just to show you again, look how these waveforms no longer line up. As I said, that's fine, it's only 4 beats. But what happens if I use a really short loop, like an 1/8? What I've done is insert 3/8 of a beat into the track, so the beats no longer match perfectly. Hot loop button to the rescue. Again, I'll put on that 4-beat loop. Loop once, twice, and switch off. Now look, the tracks have stayed in sync, as if I'd never switched the loop on in the first place. Yeah, look again, everything's lining up absolutely perfectly. What does this mean? Well, it means that I can put in short loops and keep the tracks perfectly beat matched, like this. And now back to Ferry, who's going to talk to you about hot cues.
To access hot cues, I tap the hot cue button. Up pop these buttons. Each button relates to a cue point that I placed earlier. If I hold one down, it plays. Let go, it stops. Now 2. If I start playing the track will continue to play when I let go. Now I don't need to hold the buttons and can skip around. Now let's have some fun. I can even make this track sound like chiptunes. I'll load another track. Now I will show you looping mixed with hot cueing. And I can change the loop length too. Finally, the other features. The EQ knobs are now multi-touch. Also, in the effects area, there's a new button down here called Low EQ Link. When this is on, it links the wet and dry knob to the EQ knob if the effects are being used. So if I move this down now, nothing happens with the EQ. The effects are off. But if I switch the effects on, look how the low EQ knob rotates automatically. This will help your effects from sounding too bassy. Before I go, let me show you the options screen. There's now a huge range of options for you to customize qlay DJ to your personal playing style.
So this is actually the updated version 1.5 of qlay DJ. Available in July, and if you would like to see what qlay DJ can do, check out my new mix compilation Once Upon a Night Volume 2, which will be out at the end of September. See you guys.